Morning all, and welcome to another Sunday Q&A, now on a Saturday, because basically I'm going to split it into two parts. The videos are getting very long and it's a bit of a slog for everyone to watch them, and it took me an hour and a half just to write the questions down. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stick one up this afternoon on Saturday, and then I'm going to stick the other one up on Sunday like normal. So if you're watching Sunday Q&A and you're tuning in and you go, hang on a second, it started yesterday, so you can either flick back to yesterday's, or maybe do a link, or just watch this one. It's entirely up to you. It depends kind of what you're interested in, because I'll give you titles. It basically replies to the vlogging that I've been doing during the week. So me and Vincent, there he is. Right, son. Right, so we're going to start today with the first, because I'm vlogging once a day now. And like I said all the way along, I actually thought I'd run out of things to say. No, I've got too much to say. Oh, big mouth strikes again. But yes, but anyway, we're just going to crack on with it. So, the new woman in my life. Hey, there she is. It's getting frustrating now, in the fact that I drive into the yard every morning and I look and there she is, but I can't drive her because I still haven't got the operators. People say, so have you played with your truck? Do what? You know, I sort of jump in the cab, wiggle the steering wheel a bit like a 5-year-old and go vroom, vroom, vroom. I can drive it round the yard. What's the point in that? So one guy turned around to me and said, how many pallets can you get in the back of it? I said, I don't know. I'll find out when I get in there. But there's no point in jumping in, restacking pallets and getting back out. Having said that, got the email from my caseworker because I was petrified. I didn't quite upload the right information, and there will be a video on the mistakes that I made in case you guys are going for an operators. And he said, I was like, thank God, because I'm running out of time. And then she said, I have received all your emails and I shall hopefully be I shall be processing your license. Well, going for it on Monday. So if I've done it wrong again, I might get an email back going, look, you still haven't done this, you've got to do it. But at least they've acknowledged, because I'd sent these emails off going, oh, you need this, this and this, and I didn't realise. And then I'm in no man's land. You can't talk to them because of the lockdown thing. She wasn't on Skype. I've rung the... You can ring through the DVSA and get to the operators people that way. Done that about 3 times. They've acknowledged that I've rung, but it's like, it's great. So anyway, fingers crossed on that score that we should be in it soon. So, the new woman. Right, we've got some names. Jason Burke and John Bethany come up with Daphne. Yeah, Daphne's kind of a bit on the obvious side. Maybe not, I don't know. Most people think of Scooby-Doo. You know, which in fairness, she had a red hair, Daphne. I like red hair women. My real one's got red hair. Harper Valentine, is she bigger than Shirley? Shirley was the first truck. Shirley was named after my mate Ellis, who used to work with me, a homeless geezer I met, and ended up giving him a job. And there was 2 reasons she was called Shirley. Firstly, after Greetings to a New Brunette by Billy Bragg, which goes, Shirley! And his girlfriend, or his ex-girlfriend, was called Shirley, and she was big. And Shirley was big. Is she bigger than Shirley? Yes, she is, mate. She's getting to proper lorry size, which also means that the geezer at the farm at the yard has told me I've got to pay proper lorry parking, but hopefully I'll be making more dough, so it won't matter. Also, he says the number plate says Bugs, so maybe Bunny. Bunny sounds, that reminds me of Bunny Girls. So far the winner is Al, who's come up with Davina. I don't know why. I kind of like Davina. I have thought about my wife. She said if I could ever be called anything, I used to work with a woman who, problem with, hang on a minute, Davina, no, sorry. So I used to work with a woman called Delphine de Cruz. So if I could have been called anything, I'm in Delphine de Cruz. And it's de Cruz, it's de Cruz along the road. But Delphine, I don't know. We'll work it out. You've got to drive them to work out what they're called. What we got here? It's all a bit squiggly around here. Everybody said thanks very much. Good luck with the truck. Danny and Dave Tutt and Paul Davis and David Johnson and Steve Bradley and Paul Collins and anyone else that I've missed. Thanks very much. Jason Burke said he's seen Hayley's videos. She's a truck driver lady. I will hopefully be able to stick a link up for her video. She's like the woman like doing what I'm doing, but for truck drivers. And I'm sure there's other ones out there, but I kind of like Hayley's channel because it's very much like me. It's not too fancy with the graphics, and it's just, person with a phone showing you how it works. So, have a look at her channel. Tell her I sent you, because it might get a bit of cross-channel promotion. You never know. She might go, oh, who's this Peter bloke? I might tell her about him. Or she might not. Either way, doesn't matter, because it's good. So you might want to give her a bash. Right, what we got to do here? Terry, there's something to do with Gareth Vickers. Gareth, I can't remember. I was supposed to say something. I don't know what it is. I'm just covered in pen here at the moment. Terry Shoot said, will you keep going? Class 2. Possibly, I don't know. This is the whole thing. This is what I've done with my channel all the way along. Is I've been doing things. Every time I make a mistake, I chuck it out there. And what I'm doing at the moment is I'm going to see how much dough I can make in a 7.5. And if it turns out to be considerable, I mean, because one of the guys turned around and told me, he said, for the same, if you think about it, for the same money, you can buy an 18-ton truck for the same money as you can buy a 7.5-ton truck. They run on the same operator's license. The servicing bills are going to be around about the same. Maybe a little bit dearer on an 18-ton truck. I mentioned the road tax is slightly dearer. You do need to have a class 2 to drive one, but in an 18-ton truck, you can probably drive around with about 12, 15 ton on the back. I'll have to do the maths, I don't know. With a 7.5-ton truck, you're going to be limited to 3-4 ton. So the guy turned around to me, he said, with a big one, you can do 3 jobs. With that one, you can only do 1. But we'll see. Let's just see how this one pans out first, because I don't really want to crash in and do another driving test to the tune of, I don't know, 1.5, 2 grand, however much it costs to put me through my class 2, if it doesn't work out and I'm going to jump back in a van. But watch this space and I'll let you know. He also said that TomTom 350, he got one. He said he didn't update it and now it works like car sat-nav. This sat-nav thing, Blackpool Brian's put me onto a geezer. Matthew, who's Blackpool Brian says what they all use. He said they just use them ones off eBay. He said you buy it for about 50 quid. He said it will last for a few years and then you bin it. He said he's had 4 of them. I think he said I've had 4 of them in about 15 years, 20 years. He said they've never put me wrong once. Never gone down a width restriction, never gone down a funny bridge. He says sometimes they steer you into like a narrow road and you think that don't look right, and then you look down the road and you realise that it pans out a bit at the bottom and it's where you need to be. So probably I'm kind of Matthew McDonald made the point. He says you spend 15 grand on a motor and you won't spend 350 on a sat-nav. It's a fair point. For the record, the motor was only 5 grand. But it's still, you spend 5 grand on a motor and you won't spend £350 on a sat-nav. I would spend it if I knew that it was going to be bang on. But the amount of people that have told me, ooh, didn't work for me, ooh, sent me down the width restriction, ooh, I have to keep paying for it, oh, there's too many oohs. So I'm going to do like the mechanic process. And what you do if you're a mechanic and you don't know what's wrong with a motor. My mechanic told me once, he said, we fix the cheapest thing first. And if that don't work out, we fix the next most expensive, then the next most expensive, and we keep going until the fault's cleared. If it's a fault and you don't know what it is, this presumably is in the days before diagnostics. So what I've done is I've tried Road Lords. It's good, it's not great. The next thing I do is I'll try a cheap sat-nav. If that works, brilliant. If somewhere down the line I fancy treating myself to a fancy one and see if it's any good, I might. But we're going to go the cheapest way first, I think. So, see how that goes. Danny Richardson, what's the insurance like? Well, I've only had 1 quote so far. Because there's not an awful lot of point. I can get quotes pretty quickly, I'm sure. And I have actually rung 2 firms, but one of them was still waiting to get back to me. It was half as much again. So on my motor, I'm paying about 2 grand a year, which I think is kind of dear. But then I haven't chased it around a bit. And on the truck, it came in about 3. But that's kind of all singing, all dancing, and with the goods in transit and all that as well, like, you know. So I think you're looking at half as much to double again. So they're asking for a reasonable deposit, and then my monthly payments will be about the same. But we shall come to that one again once I get it done. Godzilla's. Why choose this truck? Why a DAF? Right. When you start looking for a motor, I found you suddenly think if you decide you're going to buy like a full Ranger or a Hilux, you suddenly start looking around at Hiluxes. Everyone comes down the road, what's that one like? What's that one like? Well, you're going to get a Mini. It's only Mini to become obvious to you. When I decided I was going to go for 7.5 ton again, I suddenly started looking at all 7.5 tons. It's 2 reasons. Firstly, I like the look of them. And when you're looking around in my old days, my Shirley was she was a Ford Iveco 75 E15, and I like that was a good truck for me. You don't see that many 7.5 ton Ivecos around at the moment. You see the odd man, you see a lot of DAFs. I would say, you don't see the odd Mercedes, you see the odd Mercedes as well, see a lot of DAFs. I would say of all the trucks I see on the road, probably a third to a half of them are DAFs. I like the look of them, from the outside anyway. The cab as, what's his name? Bob Keane says, what does he say? He says it looks like the inside of a Soviet Cold War tank. Yeah, it's not exactly. I mean, the Mercedes, I've got to say, Jessica the van, has got a bit more luxury, maybe a bit more. What they call it, ergonomically designed. But I like looking at it. So it's got space on the inside, and also you guys on the channel and my mechanic. They go, don't get an Iveco. God, my mechanic says Iveco stands for I vibrate, everything comes off. And everyone says, go for a DAF, go for a DAF. So I've gone for a DAF. Also, if you see more of them out on the roads, then chances are parts are going to be more readily available, maybe even cheaper, and everybody else is going from. I used to make this mistake when I was a kid. Everybody else would buy an what do they call them, iPods. I bought an Arcos. I'm going to be different. I'm going to go with a French firm. No, everybody buys the iPods because the iPods are good. The Arcos doesn't sell because it's not as good. And in the end, I went and bought an iPod. So eventually you come in and you go, I'm just going to buy what everybody else does. Because presumably they're all buying them because they're good. And also it means that, you know, they're easily fixable. So that's why we went for the DAF. Abdul, is it Roqueb? Sorry, mate, if I'm scribbled it a bit. It's not ULEZ, is it? No, it's not. That's one thing I didn't like about it, but it's a Euro 5. To ULEZ, you need Euro 6. The Euro, you can add another £3,000 on the price of the truck. So what I thought I'd do is I'm going to get it. I'm going to run it for a little while. The biggest problem for me is not going to be the ULEZ. It's going to be the LEZ, which is at the moment I can drive anywhere, no problem, except for that little red bit in the middle of London, kind of, you know, Soho and City and all that kind of stuff. But from February next year, it's like you can't drive basically just inside the M25. But I thought we thought we were going to run it for 6 months and see how it goes. If I find I'm in the LEZ a lot, then we might have to think about shifting it on. I might find, because all the jobs I seem to be doing at the moment seem to be taking me down to like the I seem to be covering like the West Coast. I seem to be, not the West Coast, you know, sort of down to 25, down toward Basingstoke, or down towards, I was in Torquay. I've been doing ones down to Ringwood. I seem to be down there a lot. We'll see where I go. We'll see how, and also see how much it costs. You might go, well, look, I'm just going to carry on running. If I'm only going to be in there once in a blue moon, we'll just take the price on the job. But we'll have to wait and see. But no, the zone thing might be an issue for me, but I won't have to worry about that until February. So again, it's kind of watch its space. But it was a good truck for the right money, and I was happy, you know. Smart Bomb. Did I put my tacho card in the right way round? I did think about this. I put it in both ways. I think the problem is I've got to get the tacho calibrated with a company card. But what I'm going to do, like I say, it's one step at a time, isn't it? You know, I sort of yeah, it's an interesting story, but it's too long. What I'm going to do, get the operators. Once the operators is done, then I'm going to book it in to get the tacho recalibrated. Once I get the tacho recalibrated, I'll go down there and go, right, can you please show me how this tachograph works? Because they're tacho people and they should know. Once I've done that, then I'll be up and running, and then I need to get an MOT booked as soon as possible because all the test centres are shut and I've only got an extension until the end of August. If I can't get one, it runs out. I'm going to have to park it up and jump back in the van until I can get an MOT on the truck. But once that's in place, well, then there's always something else in there. There's always something else. Mr. There's another guy, Mr. Mister, he's considering going the other way. He's going a long wheelbase Sprinter. I know a lot of you out there think about this, and I think a lot of you are kind of truck drivers, and you kind of think, oh, I'm tired of being a truck driver. I'm tired of getting there late, 10 minutes late, and being waiting for 4 hours. Tired of being stuck on the naughty step. Tired of being stuck in the compound. Tired of being treated badly. I just want to jump in a van and do the thing. And I can understand that. I've come across it the other way. I've got in a little van and I've been doing the thing, and now I fancy something bigger. But I think there is a difference between being like a truck driver and haulier and driving trucks for someone else, or driving a truck for yourself. But we will see. So watch this space, and you may decide after jumping in, you think, well, I can drive a truck. I've got my class 2. I've driven the Sprinter. I know how the CX is working. I'm going to do what Pete does. Jump in a lorry. We'll see. I'll let you know if it's any good or not. Manchester YouTube says he's, hang on, he's still doing the new X in the new, hang on, he's doing the CX in the new vehicle. I don't know about, sorry mate, I've scribbled that down. Okay, cool. Yeah, and finally, Alan turns around, Alan partner around, and says, does it have a sunroof and does it have a microwave? You know it doesn't have a sunroof or a microwave. You're the one who found it. I'm quite happy. I've got my Tommy Tippy flask. Oh, somebody did tell me. Who was it? That's it. Sorry, we missed a couple. There you are. Barry Caldwell. Thanks for the tips. He's going to have to... Oh, yeah, it's about the heater. He said, and Keith Kirkwell as well. I'm going to have to master the heater. And Keith, Checkfield says, run the heater in the cab once a week, even in the summer. Just to keep it up. I'm going to have to master the heater. I'm going to have to get the hang of it. And Steve Campbell, he said about the cubbyhole holder. Apparently, there's a DAF CF Owners Club. So I'm going to get straight on that and see what stuff there is, because I want somewhere to put my flask so it's not rattling around a bit. So there we go. That's kind of it on the truck. Cool. Right. Jobs that get sent through. You've all had, yeah. Jobs that get sent through without the shipper ringing you first. Drive you mad. What we got through. Dolly. Oh, incidentally, thanks for putting me straight. Dolly is he's got his nickname from the Navy, so thanks for putting me straight on that one, mate. That's cool. He said, "Can you believe it?" Because he's the one that flagged this video up. He said the same guy done it again this week. Another job's appeared. Bing. Come on. We haven't booked. We haven't even, you know. Gary Jarvis. Oh no, Steve Bradley. Who incidentally has got his own courier vlog, and I meant to plug this. Also, Beardy Driver is out there. He's got his own courier vlog. He hasn't done anything for a while. Beardy, if you're out there, mate, if you want to keep going, you know, more the merrier, really. But Steve Bradley, I think it's Steve Bradley courier vlog, but I'll try and do a link. You know, see if you can have a look at him. He's just a kind of guy running around in a van, you know, give you an idea what it's like out on the road, that kind of thing. He said, I think it was him. Yeah, it happened to him. So it has happened to him. Anyway, Gary Jarvis, one of you guys got it on his first job. I forget who it is now. It's written down here somewhere. He said the first job ever done on the CX just appeared. If you think this is scary, just come straight through. Gary Jarvis got a job. Right, he got a job. Second later, another came through. He phoned him up. He said, "Can you do that?" He said, "No, I'm ever so sorry. I'm booked on another job now." The guy went, "Okay, fair enough." He said, "It just appeared." "I just told you I can't do it." So he said, "So I'm ringing and ringing and ringing. They're engaged." And he said, "And I'm trying also to get on with my first job, and now I'm trying to have to cancel a job that I shouldn't have to cancel." As it was, it kind of turned out okay. I think he sent them a message in the end and said, "Look, I'm on the other job. I told you I couldn't do it, so no bad feedback." It's that bad feedback. We're all terrified about it. And it's really frustrating if you get bad feedback from something that's just not your fault. Bob Keane. He says the Bob Keane show as usual. He said there's a difference between constantly looking at the screen and dipping in and out. Possibly, mate. But like I said, you know, the one I got this Monday, was it this Monday? I think it was. And I was actually looking all the time. And then Jem said, "Do you see that job come through?" And I went, "No." And it was a job that I hadn't even bid on. So I wasn't looking to see if it had banged up, because it was something that I'd mentioned on Friday. Like I say, it all turned out okay in the end, but oh God. Yeah, it was Gareth Vickers' first job he ever did in the CX come straight through, mate. Scary. And he said, what you got to understand, and it's true, we're out there because jobs like that is you can't turn around and just bid on one job, or they go, "We'll get back to you," because you'd just be sitting there for hours. So it's a bit like throwing nets out as a fisherman. So you might have like 12 bids on at any one stage. And he said the second a job comes through, he said, "I cancel all the other bids." He said that's yeah, you're definitely right. Having said that, that's no guarantee. Because I've cancelled all the other bids once, and then a job still got sent through. And I said to Jem, "How have they managed to send that? I've cancelled it." And he said, "No, apparently they can still go back and do it." But yes, just keeping on top of it, like, you know, and it really. Ricky Arim Couriers says, yeah, he says, yeah, you've got to make sure that your phone's through. Assumption is the mother of all failures. But he didn't say failures. He said another word that begins with F. He says he does a lot of jobs down. They're based down the coast apparently, and he says it's very frustrating. Also down the coast, something else he's found. A lot of jobs get booked as backloads, you know. But it's probably backloads must be picked up as soon as possible, delivered as soon as possible. Not a backload. And the other thing is, he said they actually come through with less miles than the actual job is. If a job comes through with less miles than it is, the second you put it in the sat nav, ring them. If it says it's 100 miles and you quote them 100 quid, and then you put it in the sat nav and it says at 130 miles, ring them. And go, "You said this job's 100 miles. I'm just putting it in the sat nav, it's 130 miles. I ain't doing 130 miles for 100 quid. I mean, sometimes if it's 105, you sort of go, and just crack on anyway, because it's not worth the grief. But I do wonder how many people play on that. And Godzilla said he had this one. He said, right, this is an interesting story, actually. He says, this is why it's going on a bit, like, you know, so... Right, yeah, I've got to come back down in a minute. He said basically he quoted on a job. He had a couple of quotes in, and a geezer rang him up, and it was like moving a pallet down the road. And then another one pinged up, which he'd quoted on in the past, and he said, "You still right for doing those 2 pallets?" And he said, "Yeah, no problem." 2 seconds later, the guy rang him up and said, "Right, you're good to do that pallet." And he turned around and went, "Can't do it now. Sorry, mate, but..." And this is really frustrating. If you want me, book me. Don't then come back to me 20 minutes later and say, "It's yours." "No, I can't do it now." "Oh, but I need you to do it." No, you didn't book me. So the guy's rung him up and he's gone, "You can do it now. Yeah, you can have that job." And he said, "I can't do it. Sorry, I'm on another job now." He said the bloke went quiet. He's been like, "Oh, I need you to do it." He said, "I've already quoted the customer." I said, "You come in." And he went, "Okay." So I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll ring back the first firm. I'll ring you. I'll get you on. I'll see if I can co-load it. I'll ring. And so I rang up the first guy, explained what happened. The guy went, "Yeah, okay, as long as it's there by that stage." Got the 3 pallets. He's on. And then the geezer who asked him to do the 1 pallet, the job that came through second, rang him up and said, "Where are you? What are you doing? You're late." And he went, "Yes, I'll be there in half an hour." And he says, you shouldn't be doing this. You're late. You're co-loading." He went, "No, hold on." He said, "You rang me. You asked me to get you out of trouble. Don't then have a scream." He said, "The guy was having a scream up at me." He said, "I had to put him straight." He said, "Don't turn around and tell me I'm doing it wrong when I've done this to you as a favour." So, he kind of said, "Damned if you do, damned if you don't." Yeah, you're quite right. Turn around to him next time, or so I say, "I need you to do that job." Say, "Well, bad luck. I can't." Still, there you go. And on the subject of which, Wasim Mazur says, "What if you accept a job and then a better one comes in straight afterwards?" Unfortunately, mate, once you've booked a job, you've booked a job. That's you done. If a better one comes in afterwards, it's a shame. And then you're stuck with that situation, because if you turn around and cancel it, you're going to get bad feedback. From the shipper's point of view, they want an easy life. Get the job, sell the job. Job gets done. Get the next job. So they don't need people going, "I'll do it." "No, I won't do it." "No, I'll do it." "We'll get someone else." "Oh, no, he's not available." You just want to keep it straightforward. Yeah, the only thing you might want to consider is if you've got another job that you think you might be winning. I had to do this week. A guy rang me up and he said, "Right, you can have that job, 80 quid, but you can pick it up at 3:15. And I said, "It says in the notes between 2:30 and 3. And he went, "Yeah, it's probably, if you get there at 2:30, 3, it probably won't be ready till 3:15. I said, "In the nicest possible way, mate." I said, "I'm going to be probably waiting for 3/4 an hour," which will win an hour. I said, "I've got another one on the go at the moment, which I might win. I'm going to hang on for that one." And he said, "Fair enough." 5 minutes later, I did get the other one. So that's luck of the draw. You guarantee if you're waiting for that other job, you won't get it. I always say, bird in the hand, just get it, do it, crack on. And as Danny Boy says, with them sending through jobs, he says he's had that trick a few times. He said, "I've got the crystal ball in the cab." Yeah, I've got a crystal ball in my cab as well. I've got it right next to the hyperdrive, the Lightspeed drive, the one that I press the button on every time a shipper wants me to move something from South London to North London on a Friday afternoon in 20 minutes. What are you going to do? So, right, that's it. That's part 1 of Sunday Q&A. I'll do part 2 now. But like I say, what I'll do is I'll plug this one out this afternoon, and then I'll plug the other one out in the morning. And that way you won't have to endure through what is probably going to be about an hour of me talking nonsense. So that's part 1 from me and Vince the Bear. Hope you had a good week. I hope you took care and took money.